remote roles in Treasury are going out of fashion. They're extinct, if you like. Well, that's what I was talking about in this week's newsletter. So the key thing is, for you guys, if you want to work in Treasury, you need to be able to play with others nicely in the playground. You guys want to actually work together. You want to collaborate, because in Treasury, a lot of the ideas that come to you will come as a result of working with the team. If you just want a remote role in Treasury, and I've got this from a few other people who have actually emailed me, I want a remote role in Treasury. Great. Where are you in your career? Now, it works if you're more senior. So I had an email from Steve Long and Ellen Cornelissen, really good friends of the business, great people. But they said, well, we work remotely. I went, yeah, you're treasurers. You're able to work remotely because you've developed all those skills. In your early years, when you were working with people, you were working with people. You were developing your skills. You were doing all that stuff. Like, actually, yeah, you're right. Yeah, I had a great boss at that time, and this is it. That's what it's about. We discussed this last night at last night's Treasury Career Corner Live podcast. As you can see, I'm not in the office for a change. It was amazing. Declan Doorly from DCC, he talked about how they work in the office 2 to 3 days a week, but they're hybrid. Great. Mags from Duracell, amazing lady. Great value, by the way. It'll be coming up on the podcast very soon, so tune into that, treasurycareercorner.com. Mags was talking about how she's got one person down in Barcelona. They spend 3 months a year in Thailand, but as she said, as long as the work gets done. But I then said, okay, that's quite a youngish person. You know, they came on board during COVID as it was. She said, yeah, but I had to coach them. I had to help them. There was lots of one-to-one. So you can make remote work, but it's hard work. And then we had Philip Leroyd from OCI, and Philip talked about how all of his team were remote. But then he added that actually he knew most of his team. He'd worked with his team a lot of the time before. So actually it was, they'd been trained. Bringing on junior people in Treasury for remote only roles is very difficult. Actually, once you get a little bit more experience and expertise, and Mags talked about at least, once a week they all get together. They talk on Zoom. She has the office in Chicago where they're on site sort of thing. So that's the thing. That's the point we're making, if you like. So other than that, yeah, great week. Thanks very much for all your support, guys. Hope you're enjoying these videos. If there's other stuff you want me to cover, I've actually got one coming up with the lovely, actually going to do a shout out to Tom Tarrant. He wants some questions about application systems in recruitment. I try and avoid it a lot of the time, recruitment, with these videos, but actually it's one of the things I'm going to do. Other things from the article. Oh yeah, we had our amazing Houston session. That was last week's Treasury Career Corner Live in Houston. That was on the podcast. You can get your CTP credits, go get that, and CPD credits if you want to record them. That's the way you can do it. And next week, we've got our Texpo session, which was amazing, with Jeremy, Denicia, and Martin. Yeah, looking forward to that. And so you're seeing me on a Friday morning, post-London. This time next week, it'll be a Friday morning, post-Dublin. Treasury Career Corner Live in Dublin. Looking forward to it next Thursday. So come and join us if you're in Dublin and you want to learn from some of your Treasury peers. Thanks very much. Cheers.